What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Barndo Life. Welcome to the ultimate Barndominium Build Guide series, where we break down the real costs, financing, land buying, design tips, and the biggest mistakes to avoid. In the last video, we talked about the 10 must-know facts before building a barndominium. And a lot of you asked the same question. Well, okay, what does it really and actually cost to build a barndominium? Well, so today I'm breaking down realistic price ranges where people blow their budget and the biggest mistakes to avoid. So let's get into it. Well, number one, the shell cost isn't the whole story. Just remember that. Most people see a quote for a metal building shell and think, oh wow, that's really cheap. A basic Barndo shell might run $20 to $40 a square foot, but that's just the frame, metal exterior, and the roof. Guys, you got to remember that it does not include foundation, it does not include interior framing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and most importantly, all the finishes. The shell is only the beginning. Now here's another thought. Foundation costs really surprise people. Concrete is very, very expensive. I paid over $200 a yard just for material being delivered. A slab foundation can easily cost you $8 to $15 a square foot. And remember, everything underground must be planned well first. Plumbing lines, drain locations, bathroom layout. Changes later are very expensive. That happened to us. We had to break the whole slab to change some toilets. Interior build out equals money, my friends. This is where the budget jumps. Drywall, insulation, cabinets, countertops, flooring. These cost the same as a traditional house. So the average interior finish cost is $50 to $120 per square foot, depending on quality choices. You know, if you want a luxury kitchen, a custom shower, high-end appliances, you know, if you want Viking ranges and stuff, that's where Barndo stopped being cheap. On another note, land prep and utilities add up fast. If you're building on raw land, factor in the land clearing, which is very expensive, your driveway, septic system, well, power hookup, depending if you have a power pole on your property or not, that alone can run you to 20 to 50K. A lot of people forget this part, so make sure that you plan for this. Labor versus owner builder. If you hire a full general contractor, expect 15 to 25% markup on a total build. If you act as your own GC, you can save serious money, but you're managing, schedules, inspections, subcontractors, all the problems you got to deal with. It becomes a full-time job on top of your full-time job, unless you're retired. Now, here's the deal. Let's talk about the real price per square foot. Well, you want an honest answer? I'm going to give you an honest answer. And most people want to hear this. So, in today's market, a finished barndominium will cost you $120 to $200 per square foot. It is what it is, depending on location, materials, design complexity, and who manages the build. Yes, it could be cheaper than the traditional home, but it's not going to be $70 a square foot like social media and these YouTube guys that are feeding you a whole bunch of lies. All right, let's talk about the biggest budget mistakes you need to avoid. Here are the top mistakes that will cost you a lot of money. Changing the layout after the slab pour, that's a big no-no. Upgrading everything at once, not budgeting 10 to 15% for unexpected costs, hiring contractors without Barndo experience, that's a big one, and the underestimating timeline delays. Expect delays, expect surprises, make sure that you plan for both. Now I'm going to tell you where you can save money, okay? Smart ways to cut costs is simple roof lines, rectangular floor plan, don't do any corners and some crazy design that costs money. And standard size windows. I went with standard size windows that you could get at Lowe's, and it still cost me 17 grand for windows and doors. So mid-range finishes, I didn't go with mid-range finishes. It cost me a lot of money. This is our forever home. I wanted something nice, but listen, you could have something nice in a nice budget. So, and acting as a partial owner builder. Just remember that simple design equals cheaper build. What does it really cost to build a barndominium? It's totally up to you. It depends. Just remember that. But now you know what actually drives up the price. If you're planning your build, drop your square footage and the location on the comments. I'll try and give you a rough estimate. I'm not a builder, I'm not a professional, but I'll give you my best rough estimate. I just did finish mine, so it'll be pretty accurate. If you haven't watched the first episode of this series, go back and watch it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and welcome to Barndo Life. See you on the next one.